In this problem, we are given an array of integers, nums, and an integer target, and we need to return the indices. We need to return the indexes of the two numbers such that they add up to target. Okay, so we may assume that each input would have exactly one solution, and we may not use the same element twice. Let's see an example. 2, 7, 11, 15, target is 9. So 2 plus 7 is 9. So the indexes can be 0 and 1. Okay, so let's begin solving this. So I place here the array 2, 7, 11, 15. 2, 7, 11, and 15. And we start scanning it. So we look at 2 and then we ask ourselves, do we have the complementary to 9? Yes, but we needed to scan the whole array because potentially this 7 could be somewhere here. And if we would not found, then we would begin here and we would ask, do we have the complementary to the number 7? But note that if we reached this place, then this means we already asked the question about the complementary of 7 of 2. So each time we scan the array in the brute force, we need to find a number. And if we say we need to find, we immediately think of hash map or hash set. Okay, because they asked to return the indices of the element, the indexes, then we'll probably need a hash map because we need to store both the values in order to find them in the map. We need to find a value and we would need to remember its index. So the way we are going to solve this is go to the first element and have a map. Let's say this is our map, have a map, and check if the complementary to 2 is in the map. The map is empty right now because we are at the first index. So there is no complementary, so we add 2 and its index. And now move to the second index and we ask, do we have the complementary? Yes. So in this case that we have returned the indexes, the index here is 0, the current index is 1. But note that we ask this question immediately for each number. We don't put all the items in the map, but we add the question on each of them because when we reached any of them, then we already asked the question on all the previous, which means that when we are at the end, we would already ask the question on all the previous items. Okay, and with that, let's start coding this. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do here is to create this map. So map in Java from integer, which is the value, to integer, which is the index. Let's call it map. This new hash map. Okay, now we need to scan all the elements. So for int I is 0, I is less than nums dot length I plus plus. And now check if the complementary value is already in the array. So if a map dot contains key of the target minus nums of I, the complementary value, if it contains it, then return the indexes. Return new int of the current item, which is index I, and the complementary index, which is in the map, which is map.get target minus nums I. Okay, and if we didn't find the item, we add it to the map. So map.put and the current value, place in the key the value so that we can find it later on. The value is nums I, and the index, which is currently I. And we have to always return something, so return int didn't find. Let's run this. Let's submit this. Looks good. Okay, looks good. So now I want to insert an interesting error into this problem and see if you can identify what would happen in this case. So let's say that I first put the item in the map, and only then I check if the map contains it and do the checking. So what would happen in this case? Let's give you 5 seconds, pause the video and think what would happen in this case. Okay, so we are back, and basically what we did is first insert the item to the map and only then do a check. You can say, okay, I go to a new element, I insert it to the map, and then I check on all the previous items. But so it looks like no harm, right? Because we just insert first the element to the map and then we check if there is a complementary. The problem is this, however. What if our target is 6 and first value is 3? So you insert 3 into the map, right? This is one item. And now we inserted here 3, and now we ask, do we have an item in the map that is complementary to 6? Yes, it's the only and one and only item, 3. So we'll return index 0, 0, and this would be our solution. However, the question asks to only return if there are 2 elements. So you see a minor change, which does not look suspicious. Only first placing the item would cause the problem to fail. So this was the two-sum problem.